Hi, and welcome back to a Father-Daughter podcast, where we dig into real conversations about leadership, culture, and everything in between.
So you said something about friends at work, right? And I know that recently the HR team and you guys all as leaders have conducted a survey within the organization. And the question, which was a simple question, was how likely are you to take this person or invite this person to come with you on a picnic?
Yeah.
Right? Which goes back to that piece about friends.
Absolutely.
What were your findings from that? Did you talk to your team about that? And
So we did. So I also started by looking at the data. You know me and Excel. So I started by looking at the data, and one of the things that we saw is there were two questions in our survey, if you recall. One was how likely are you to trust this person?
Correct.
And how likely are you to invite this person on a picnic, right? Those were the two. So there was trust and friendship. And one of the things that we saw was the correlation coefficient was at 0.8 something.
Okay,
Which
in
is
English, explain it to me.
Which is a very, very high relationship between the two variables. So if you trusted the person, you are likely to be friends with the person. If you were likely to be friends with the person, you were likely to trust the person. So inherently the two were interconnected.
Oh wow, okay.
And that just also goes to show that friendship at work is important, because then you know you can count on that person. You know you can count on that person because your tendency also to go out of your way for a friend is that little bit more, is just a little bit more.
Right, of course.
You will make sure you won't let your friend down because your friend has to answer to their boss.
Correct.
So your tendency to ensure that they can trust you is higher. And I had a conversation with the team with the survey results, and it was actually shocking to see that actually the good performers who we knew were good performers and who have scored high on even their annual performance ratings were also the ones the peers had rated high.
Okay.
And so when we had a conversation, the entire team realized to say the value in the variables, and they hadn't actually understood the importance of that. So good performance is also linked to high trust and then having friends at work.
So the interesting thing is, I don't know if you saw my scores, right?
Don't remember.
I looked at it, and the trust score for me was very, very high, right? Like a 9.9 or something. But the friendship score, being invited to a picnic, wasn't that high at all.
Okay.
Right? Which...
Yeah, you're in a different category. I don't think we can...
But I looked at it, right? And I thought to myself that maybe I do need to work on, is that, I understand because of the position, because of the age, there is clearly bound to be a gap.
Yeah.
Right? So people are not likely to invite me on a picnic. But then I started thinking to myself that is this something that I should be working on? That is this important?
Yeah.
Even for somebody at the managing director level of the organization in today's culture and in today's workplace.
I believe it absolutely is, because then you end up creating that collaborative culture. And we've talked about this in the past as well, right? That if they feel that they could invite you on a picnic, they feel like they could talk to you about anything.
Right.
Right? And then there isn't that fear. And there isn't the fear of speaking up.
So you break down barriers and
break down barriers
yeah.
informally. One of the things that we've been looking at doing is to say, the first day when someone joins, you could have a lunch of all the people who joined in the office, right? And all the new joiners could go out together, and you can create their comfort zone within them and their group. The other option, which is actually what we're trying now, is they actually meet their manager for the first time, other than if they've been interviewed by the manager, at a lunch.
Oh, interesting.
So their buddy, their manager, and the new joinee, the three of them go out for lunch. So you actually get to know why have they joined. So why did the manager join at the point they joined?
Right.
What's kept them there? What motivates them? Those are the conversation guides we've given them. So the new joinee also gets a sense that, look, I have a comfort level with my manager and my boss, and they're
hopefully
available.
that leads to building of that little bit of informality and friendship between even
Absolutely.
the boss and the subordinate who's joining.
Absolutely. So I want to ask you, one part is wellness in the workplace,
right?
But there's also an element of wellness at home, right? You have stress in work, but you also have stress at the home front.
Of course.
How do you see that being navigated? What would be the kind of advice you would have around the wellness aspect in your lifetime?
So I think the most important thing is to recognize, and what you've said, right? There will be stress generated from the home, and it's normal. If you have stress in your own personal life, you're not unique, right? You're unique if you don't have
If you
it,
don't, yeah,
right?
absolutely.
So once you know that, okay, this is the norm, this is to be expected, then you should also know that it's something that you deal with. And interestingly, the things that reduce your stress, let's say you focus on swimming, for example, right? It's a de-stressor. You go out, you spend time on your own. You're also releasing endorphins for yourself, right? You're also feeling better about yourself. You're feeling fitter, you're feeling healthier, you feel happier through that.
So as a real estate developer, since we're building communities and we're building large communities, right? How do you think the community could contribute to wellness?
So, and we're doing this in our next set of projects, which is where we bring out wellness-centric homes, where we've realized that people have access to the gym in any case, right? So if yes, we'll give you a best-in-class gym setup, but how do we create the movement, right? It's one thing that the movement is it comes from within. Then there's the movement that comes from your immediate family. But now imagine if you're in a housing development where the theme is wellness, right? And so you're motivated to run, to walk, to do yoga, to do Pilates, right? To do aqua aerobics or any of these things with best-in-class coaching academies, right? But with a group of peers where you can find a buddy to go running with.
Yeah, how nice.
Right? You come home in the evening and you say, okay, I want to go and do my Pilates class with the neighbor, for example. That sort of community involvement into wellness is the way we are looking now at wellness-centric.
Yeah.
Like we did with child-centric.
Yeah.
Right? So I think wellness-centric within housing communities is something which is very, very critical at this point in time. It ties in very well to work-life balance. Look, people are spending hours commuting to work.
Or working from home now.
And working in the house, exactly. So
Yeah.
you're working from the home. Now, where do you get out? How do you make it convenient? How do you make it easier? And you know what our research also told us is that people want good quality facilities and not just going to any gym, because you know what? Most housing societies have a gym.
Yeah.
How many of them are actually running and running well? Right? One cable flips over the pulley, some next guy comes along and yanks at it, it jams in there, the third person comes along and it's gone.
Yeah.
Till such time as somebody gets up and says, you know what, we need to get this serviced.
Get
and so
the
on.
AMC, call the equipment person.
Exactly.
It's just like a...
Exactly. So
Yeah.
housing society gyms don't end up serving the purpose.
Yeah.
So then people go to outside gyms because you want a certain standard. Now imagine having that within your development.
Makes your life so much easier.
That's the whole idea.
Yeah.
And it's not just life easier, it's the community.
It's motivating.
It's motivating, it's the community. You have a buddy to work out with, to run with,
Yeah.
to do yoga with. And that's what we're setting out to create.
I also think as people are working from home, and I think a lot of this happened over COVID as well, right? As people were working from home, the stress came into the home environment. People's sleep was disrupted as an example, right? Because for a lot of people, their bedroom is where their makeshift desk came in, and you get up from bed, you may go shower, change into your work clothes, and then get to your desk.
Yeah.
But it's all in the same space, so you're not actually getting that mental downtime. And a lot of people today still work from home. And so, how do you see these communities as a value add to those individuals?
Well, if you're working from home, right, but you have when you work from home, it's a far more sedentary lifestyle than getting up, going downstairs, getting into your car, walking to the office. You know, there's that many
There's
more
more
steps.
movement.
You're at your desk, you're between your bedroom and your living room, dining room. It's a much more sedentary lifestyle.
Yeah.
Right? And therefore, it's all the more reason to get off your butt and go do something for your mind and for your body.
and you have the buddy to do it with.
And then you have the community
So
outside to
you
go
may
do
be
it with.
working alone, but you've actually got some social interaction which also contributes
Within that
to
community,
wellness. Absolutely.
within that community of wellness.
Yeah.
Right, and so I think it's an idea whose time is very, very ripe and ready, and we have the expertise of being able to run child-centric homes where we're involved for much longer within those communities. So I'm very optimistic about how we can generate a whole set of people who are far more wellness focused, fitness oriented, healthier, and therefore have a much better work-life balance. Because we put in place the tools for them to get to that balance easier.
Yeah. Yeah, if you're watching, definitely come check out the wellness-centric homes that we're talking about and come find out more.
Yeah, I think the culture of wellness, the work-life balance, what we started with is very important. And it's not just important because I'm saying, you also hear it like we started in the voices of people who are living in that unbalanced world today, who are craving and seeking that balance.
Absolutely.
So given that, I think it's critical that leaders now pay much greater attention. And I also think, and I applaud the people who are in the workplace who are screaming and asking for it, because that's how change will actually come about. So, as we've been talking, it's very clear that work-life balance, wellness are extremely important for all of us, regardless of your age, regardless of the stage of your career. We hope you've enjoyed watching a father-daughter podcast from Diya and me, and we hope to bring you many more of these in the future. Thanks for watching.